All right, everybody. Hello. Good morning. And you'll never know what it is that Zombie Grub knows. Not as long as I live, and not for the rest of your lives. But yeah, we're here with some BTSL, and I know the few of you that are tuning in are dedicated, so thank you for joining us here on the channel. As there is another awesome StarCraft tournament going on right now. Not nearly as awesome as ours, it just has a slightly bigger name. But there's actually, I'm wondering if this is a consequence of that other tournament going on, SSL, for those who can't catch on to what I'm referring to. That we have some people signed up for this that wouldn't normally sign up. Like, we don't usually see Rogue in our brackets, but here he is today. Checked in and everything.
I don't know. This isn't the first time that we've run a BTSL over SSL, so...
Well,
I don't know if I can claim that.
I think last time we had scheduled one that was going to be in conflict with GSL. This one's with SSL, just to let the fans know and rest assured we're not looking to make this a regular thing. This month with DreamHack Atlanta really just messed up our plans for scheduling in all kinds of ways. But I think it'll be worth it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, that's happening this week. Also, this camera angle is not much better than this camera angle. Fuck it. I'll deal with this later. But, yeah, we're going to DreamHack Atlanta later this week. Yay! Although you just got back from your own adventure.
It's correct. I went to Tokyo.
Did you find any Hero Academy stuff?
Not really. So, I spent most of my time there looking for video game stuff.
Sad.
Not anime.
That's fair. Yeah, actually, okay. So for those who weren't following or aren't already following Zombie Grub on Twitter, she's posted a lot of pictures of like the Square Enix cafe she went to, and more notably, the Owl Cafe. That's what I really wanted to get to. That's all I really care about talking about. This Owl Cafe with a question mark. Like, what's up with that?
I don't know. It's an owl cafe. It's actually not a cafe at all, though. I mean, like, people say cafe, like a cat cafe. You go there, you study, you drink coffee or tea. You even like sometimes get like a bit of food. And it's just like cats are around you. For the Owl Cafe, there wasn't any eating, but I guess it was a small location that you could enter, so, or drinking rather. So that's whatever. But I think they call like everything a theme, like a cafe. So makes sense. It's in line with everything else. Yeah, Japan's known for like weird theme restaurants. When I saw that there was an owl one, like I really wanted to go. So they had like 20-something else, probably? Yeah, I think so. Because they were just like, I mean, it was not a very big space at all, but they were just like everywhere. Like there's 3 over there, 3 over there, 4 over there, 5 over here. And there's ones that are like kind of in the corners. There's ones that you weren't allowed to touch, either because they've already been like held so much or because they just have bad personalities. And there's some that you're allowed to hold that were, you know, still fine. And they were all very calm and chill and to be very quiet. So it was an interesting time.
Well, I liked the one especially that was trying to poop on your head or whatever. It was pretty cute.
Yeah, he was very active. I stared at him, stared at me, he did a bunch of things, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and hold this one. And immediately the one was like, okay, but he's gonna climb on your head and try and poop on you. I was like, alrighty.
Well, we've got a lot of folks signed up for many different matches. Some notable signups go to, of course, Rogue as mentioned. Neeb is going to be playing. And then the Zerg Force of Koreans coming out in full force. But, man, holy moly did it. Now, Dares does it. All the Protoss are seated on the same section of the bracket together, except for trusT. Because you've got Billowy, Neeb. Wait, is that Lucira versus Billowy that's happening?
Kongho?
Yeah. Is that? Oh, wait. Should we do Lucira versus Billowy or Leenock versus trusT?
I'm pretty indifferent.
Yeah, let's just do Leenock trusT then. Anyways, let's say you got Billowy, you got Neeb, you got Zest, you got Hero. They're all on the top side of the bracket together. Like, what would be awesome if it did come down to like a PvP semifinals, I'd be cool with that. But bottom side of the bracket, yeah, Rogue, Leenock, Impact, Natural, Young, Cure. We're gonna have some pretty good matches today. But anyways, we didn't have the maps set, but now we do. Bizzle Reef for the first map. Leave it to you and get into the lobby here. I also recently learned how annoying colorblind mode in StarCraft is. There's this whole like I have it on for the viewers. I want to make sure that like if we're swapping colors, not everyone's left out type thing. But if you're playing alone and you're trying to check vision and stuff through like replays and whatever, man, it messes things up. Like, not a fan. So I've got colorblind mode off for today just because it was causing me some problems, guys. Not that we're doing replays, this is all live. But if it is an issue for anybody, please don't be afraid to say something. I'll consider turning it back on. It's just, it's something I don't think was that big of a deal anyways for how little we used it. But anyways, we're good to go whenever they are. Let's see, trusT is rooting and raring to go.
Yeah.
Rootin' and raring to go, 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 go.
Rootin' and raring? I don't think I've heard that saying.
I'm trying to think what else I could use for that then. Not much. Anyways, BTSL Season 6, Round 3. This is brought to you guys primarily by Twitch, but also in part by Matrino. I also really hate that the 11-year-old that you played with is still the top donor, so if somebody wants to go ahead and knock that out, I'd appreciate that. But we're getting into game number 1. And in the top left, he is on this cool looking logo of a team. I don't know what that is, but it's Leenock on Blazer.
Yeah, in the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it is trusT. Yeah, Leenock's, I thought, on a team. Like a real one. Not just a clan. No, I guess he hasn't been since KT.
I was saying, even if he was or wasn't, I mean, a lot of these guys, do they play with silly clan things anyways, right? Like, doping and otherwise.
They do, but the question is still, should they? And obviously, like, the people who do, I guess their teams don't care enough, but it's always kind of just like, alright. Like, Alive never plays with MII. Ever. Surprise wears the jersey, but he does. But no one remembers that. He's on MII. And I think Gumi had the same problem until he kind of like was like getting in the top of GSL, and then people were starting to remember that he was on Systrom Gaming. It's foreigners.
Starting to remember. Dude, Gumi and Systrom Gaming are pretty, I guess, synonymous now, especially ever since they made those towels for him, or the custom-made Systrom hand towels.
Yeah, they started to push, you know, the advertising a lot more, as I said, like when he started getting deeper and deeper runs. So that was always nice. And I think he even changed like his online bracket name to like Gumiho or something like that. So well, it's nice with some other ones.
We saw the early pool come down at Leenock, and I wasn't sure how much he was willing to commit to this, but looks like plenty enough. In fact, to the point where trusT is barely going to have a Zealot out, maybe. This is problems. I mean, the Cyber Core will finish up, and I guess the Mothership Core will keep this from going game over initially, but once an overcharge runs out, there's still going to be about 10 Lings on trusT side of the map he has to deal with, and 1 Zealot, not going to cover that. 2 Zealots, not going to cover that. In fact, coming out this early is a little bit bold. He can try and kite some of these Lings around to get him off that Nexus, but he's just going to get surrounded. So, realizing this, I think he knows he's just got to go for the cancel. It's just not going to be worth trying to save.
If he really wanted to save it, he's going to pull some probes. I think that would have been a bad idea. He doesn't... He did get a scout with that probe, but like not very far. As soon as he saw the Lings, he backed off, so he doesn't actually know if it's speed follow-up or not. If he did, I'm thinking that maybe he doesn't try and wall off as much as he is right now, because this really is it. Well, I guess there's 2 more on the way, but besides that, that's really it. Leenock has a lot of drones on the way. Queen, like just trying to macro here.
I really
pull the probes, take care of it.
I do like how trusT tried to make this like SimCity setup where those Lings could never really threaten much, but still, like killing a Stargate would have been great. Forget the probes, right? However, as much as this is going to suck for trusT as far as its opening goes, you know, the Nexus being delayed and all that, Leenock, he did start droning, and I think that's the scarier part about this. Like, that wasn't a full all-in. That wasn't just like Ling after Ling after Ling. So his worker count's not really suffering. He's up that natural base. I guess he might not have spores down. He knows the Stargate's here. He'll probably put them down a little bit late, but the Queens for now, 2 per base, should be okay.
I'm pretty curious to see how this game goes. It's not often that we see a high ground gateway. We just usually see them wall off with the natural on almost all maps.
Oh yeah, nowadays, and this one of course has a very specific way to wall off.
It's usually a question of, do they get the pylon? Is it possible to pylon? Do they actually kill a cybernetics core? Do they delay the tech? It's not so much a question of just like giving up the Nexus. So I feel like, especially because trusT didn't pull the probes, giving up the Nexus, that is a lot of time you're not like double producing probes, and he's down 9 right now. But I do wonder, maybe things will actually not look so bad. Of course, Leenock's going to be not so really that quick to a 3rd base, and while his drone count's good, maybe it's not like the best saturation. Like, I don't know. We just don't see this happen anymore. I guess trust one of the few guys still building gateways in the main.
Just quick note too, I'm now being made aware that the bot is not online and working. We'll get that up in a moment after this first game is done. I'm imagining there's probably a stupid update or something. I was watching Game of Thrones just before I went to bed, and I remember it prompted me for an update, so I'm going to assume that's probably what kicked in. So I'll go fix that. It'll be real quick after this game. Side note, are you a Game of Thrones person? I don't recall.
I don't really bother watching it religiously.
But I mean, are you caught up to date? Are you ready for the new season or no?
I think I am. Yeah, I think I watched all of last season.
Okay. Man, I'm not going to spoil anything, obviously, guys. It's fresh. It's like less than 24 hours old, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
This Oracle almost gives its life for that stasis trap. There's like no way that was going to be worthwhile.
Yeah. I wonder why you asked, because I figure you wouldn't spoil it anyway.
Oh, no, I was just asking because, like I said, I was watching it before I went to bed, and on that laptop it was no problem, so I don't know why. Yeah. No. Updates are cool.
Well, it was actually kind of a funny wall off not to let the Adepts in, which Leenock did need, I guess, that time to build roaches. He otherwise had nothing ready to go. And even with roaches, it's always a little suspicious. Sometimes the Adepts get in the drone line anyways, and they do a lot of damage. So this is kind of funny. It's kind of clever, too. And, it usually would be easy peasy because there's only 2 bases to defend. Their base doesn't have any drones yet, but
nicely done. Denies the transfer there with that drone. That was cool.
Yeah, but trusT, I don't know if he forced out a lot of roaches, but Leenock has built a lot of roaches. I don't know if I want to call it forced, because Leenock could always use it to go across the map. Speed +1's on the way. He could probably threaten the 3rd base. I'm not sure he'd be too upset that he had to make roaches, but obviously not quite at like a super good drone count yet, only at 42. And trusT has caught up, has a couple of really powerhouse units on the way as well, like an Immortal, a couple of Sentries. Skipped the Mothership Core, figuring he didn't need it, and in this case he was right for some time.
Oh, wow, yeah. I guess having thwarted the initialing attack was more than enough, knowing that Leenock was going to play macro behind it, but it's still scary to consider.
Yeah. Yeah, because if he did go for a 2-base follow-up, then, that's obviously a very important tool to have. trusT certainly, is just trying to play the best game possible after having to cancel a Nexus, because I don't think in any world that's, like, a super good thing. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Leenock's 3-base attack, no drones on the natural, but 3 bases, a lot of roaches, a lot of ravagers. This is looking kind of impossible to defend with trusT's current supply. He's down an upgrade, although it might change. This plus one's almost done. But the more importantly, his supply block hurt him severely. It was long. It stalled out his Immortal production. He should definitely have one more at least right here with this army. And I don't know. I think it's a game.
Yeah, Force Hill's trying to do what they can. There's just nothing to fight with, though.
Yeah, and the Mothership Core only came out with, up to the 1. I think she maybe got 2 Force Overcharges right now, but this is just too much.
Even if there was more, I don't think it would have that big of an impact. As we see, he's just sniping off the pylons, real quick, The Oracle's doing what it can. Unfortunately, what it can do is not going to last too much longer as it starts running out of juice. Crushing the army, destroying the probes. There's a small attempt at a counterattack with these Adepts. And Adepts can get out of hand, sure, but Leenock is, I think, doing far more damage than trusT could possibly do. Yeah,
this needed to happen before the attack even occurred.
Oh! Get back. The corrosive bile hits the transferred probes that were stacked up. That was cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit much. Alright, first game going to go to Leenock. Also, as we get the next map up, it's loser's pick, all that stuff. Same as always, guys. As we get the next map up, I'll go run and restart the bot, I guess. Oh, sad. Byun just showed up, but it's like 15 minutes too late, so no Byun today. Feel sad, man.
He knows better.
He does know better. By the way, so I guess we should talk about this too. New map pool, new season, going to be starting what is everyone's guessing this week, but we don't know for sure. Two things to say on that. Number one, yeah, all of our tournaments will be updating to the new season of maps. But two, the exception of Atlanta. If you guys saw, we're going to include 2 of the maps from the new season into Atlanta's dream or map pool. But for the most part, it's all going to be the same. The 2 maps we're removing are Defender's Landing and Blood Boil, and replacing it with, I think, I picked like Mech Depot and Acolyte, maybe, I want to say. Acolyte I remember liking quite a bit for the map contest tournament. Don't know the other one at all.
I'm not even sure what I heard you said. What's the other one?
Mech Depot?
Ah, I heard Mac Depot, and I thought, like, you know, McDonald's for depots. It's like mass-produced, cheap, and crappy.
I'd like a double base, please. Extra fries.
Yeah. Oh.
Alright, Proxima Station was selected for game number 2. Let's hop into it. Like I said, we're going to do these intros, then I'm going to hop to BRB and get that bot online for you guys, so we got links and stuff going. While we don't have the links available just yet, quick note that today's match arena code is July 17, JULY17. If you want to add a couple of bucks to the prize pool, I know I'd certainly appreciate it, but the players would too. More on that after. Game number 2 in the bottom left, we've got the Blue Zerg, Leenock.
In the top right has the red Protoss. He is trusT.
Alright, be right back 1 second.
Alrighty then. I don't know the prize pool. I support StarCraft. Yeah, totally. Yeah. So a bit of rotten luck, trusT, having to deal with an early pool. I mean, it's always going to be a threat for any Protoss player, whether you go for a high ground or low ground SimCity, since most, if not, you know, every single Protoss goes for gateway expand, not gateways and most core expand, not versus Zerg. Sometimes you'll have people go for Nexus first. That's, I think, the difference you'll find, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone really go for gateways and medics core. And the Nexus expand, I would expect a bit earlier of a probe. And that also kind of was like a little bit crappy for trusT too, and not see the entire build, or either only the Lings. He had to kind of use what limited information he had to guess how to work that game after losing the Nexus. That's always hard to do.
And beep boop, the bot should be online now, guys, so thank you for your patience. But yeah, that was a real rough loss for trusT, man. I feel real bad for him. But let's see if his confidence was shaken. One thing that's kind of nice is, I guess, in the pick of the map, you get this nice little choke on the ramp. You kind of guarantee that doesn't happen again. Not the same way that it did, at least. Especially with the in-base natural.
Yeah, obviously this would be a lot easier, so a lot safer. Well, soccer being reduced. Take out the stock, or this Overlord potentially. Leenock, you know, I skipped Ling speed last game, didn't actually matter. Roaches and Ravagers were enough. But getting that to in this game, 3 bases, all the usual. Oh, really fast robo for trusT this time. I think a Stargate's the best option after an early attack like that. It gives you scouting without the need to sacrifice a units. It all goes well anyways. As well as just a lot of diversity in units.
I guess actually the oversaturation of the gas doesn't really matter. So it's oversaturated everywhere until that Nexus finished up anyways. Overlord dying to see the Nexus, though, is a good confirmation. Also gets to see the Robo. So Leenock now fully aware of what's going on. No guesswork. That did supply block him a little, which kind of sucks. But I think he's perfectly fine at the time being.
Oh, yeah. So, time. So supply to work with, so it's just going to be drones for now. Twilight Council was thrown down 2. We have Immortals on the way. Come on, charge.
I can't look at Charge the same way after watching Haas and DreamHack, dude. Like, whatever for the games that happened and the way it continued after we were done casting, but holy crap, that one series where I just couldn't watch it.
Oh, the one that we cast. The Charge all in?
Yeah. Just the Warp Prism and Charge proved to be pretty freaking cool. Although, I will say, the #1 thing that came out of DreamHack wasn't the new champion. It wasn't any particular game even. It was the reaction, the face cam of a laser after playing against Haas. Looking like he had this inner meltdown of like, why the fuck would that guy do that? Like,
I didn't actually click on that. I didn't bother.
Oh, dude, you need to. He does this kind of like I don't even know. It's like an angry chicken face. I can't. He just shakes his head in like violent disgust. It was amazing.
I can imagine it. All right, I'll check it out later. But this is a charge all in, and with the immortal added in too. So Leenock should know something is up by the lack of third base. He sees the Twilight Council chronoing, I assume, with the Lings. And that's a lot of good signs.
Well, so two very interesting parts of the scouting information, though. One is he barely didn't see the Warp Prism. He'll see it now, which is huge. But he saw the full wall off, so, I mean, usually, yeah, no third base, full wall off, you know there's like a big attack on deck. In Leenock, he did kind of skimp on army supply. He was getting away with a lot of drones, hoping Queens would cover him, but maybe not going to be the case. This third could be in some real trouble. Spine and a Roach Warring coming down here, like, this is not a base you can just give up and walk away from. He has to commit to defending. So Lings rallied in, Queen's getting killed, and drones being pulled, all against charge lots. This is a bladed wall of thorns, and not something that he's going to be able to take on. Not like this.
Nah, this looks like it actually might just be a straight up counter build. No, he didn't have anything. GG. Yeah. I mean, despite all the warning signs that do exist with this build, for instance, if you get an overload in there, you see a bunch of gateways, you see the no forge, obviously the third base, the lack thereof is the biggest tell. Everything that, it just came a little bit too late. Leenock was like getting a little suspicious, but only, 30 seconds, 20 seconds before it actually attacked. So, oh well.
Well, that's going to send us off to our very first commercial break of the day. So we'll see you guys here in just a moment with game number 3 when we get back. All right, folks, welcome back. BTSL Season 3. Nope, whoops. Game 3, Season 6. Excuse me. Going back in time there for the intro. Spawning in the lower right side of the map. Well, speaking of going back in time, haven't seen him in a while, but it's the blue Protoss, trusT.
In the top left as the red Zerg, it is Leenock.
So I know we talked about a Laser's reaction to Haas. Did you click the SC2HL link there in chat?
I did, yes.
Do you see what I mean? How about, like, is an angry chicken an okay description of this?
I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Here, for the YouTube audience out there, by the way, this is the reference we are. This, when you play such a frustrating player and you win, you're just like.
Jeez. Okay. Well, the sound effects made it sound like more like a chicken.
What chicken? All right. Well, anyways, laser and facial expressions aside, we just witnessed trusT actually kill it. I was so convinced after how game 1 went, like smooth and well done by the Zerg player. I thought, oh, the easy 2-0 for Leenock. He's the more experienced player. He's the guy who's been a lot more active, like Faith and Leenock. To see trusT kill him with an all-in is not so crazy to consider. An all-in is an all-in at the end of the day, and every good player's lost to an all-in at some point. I'm just a bit surprised it was so difficult for Leenock, I guess.
Yeah. Leenock has been also just having very good games against Protoss players specifically, so I would have given them the 2-1 here, which I still do in this third game. But trusT, surprise build. And if Leenock doesn't scout that, then so be it. He scouted 30 seconds, 45 seconds earlier. If you have any suspicion, and you throw down the Roach Warren just in case you need it, then that is a different game. But everything went about as perfectly as trusT was hoping for it. I don't know if you can expect the same thing a third time though. That's the another trick about all-ins, that throw it out once, all right, you gut punch the guy, but then you throw it out twice, and they're gonna be a little more expecting, and not to be nearly as caught off guard. With a Stargate opener, I don't think trusT is gonna be doing anything too aggressive. No, not all in.
I'm actually really surprised he didn't go for a similar about the last game with how well it went. Maybe it's just that little bit of like, okay, this was a one-trick pony build. Like, I'm not going to get away with it twice against Leenock, but Charge has some serious power to it. I really do believe even the best players not necessarily going to have the best time holding off early charge attacks, no matter who it is, no matter how quick you scout it.
Charge attacks have been pretty good lately. They're all in, or just, the 3 base version where you push a little preemptively, they're not expecting it. Like, it's been pretty good.
It feels like, though, there's some weird extremes around the all-in, which, by the way, to note, we'll see if this is going to be a depths or zealots for the investment here. Because I feel like if your Zerg opponent is also getting ready for a big attack, they're usually going to outperform your zealots then. But on the other hand, if they're macroing really hard and you can't quite kill them, then you've really thrown the game away. So it's tough to say, but like when it works really well, right? Like it's got that perfect middle spot.
Yeah. Is it Twilight Council on the way? So Overlord is not going to be able to see that, as the Phoenix is. I mean, first of all, would push it off? Oh, no, this one is. Just kidding.
Okay, it is Adepts,
oh, that's
too.
nice. Yeah. Oh, okay, so Adepts, not Charge, or more old-fashioned of an upgrade. Leenock has Lings of what could be a third base, and I'd say more commonly a third base for Protoss. And Leenock just goes for a Baneling Nest. I mean, he saw that there's potential for aggression, and there is always potential for any type of Adept attack, Resident Glaives or not. 6, 7 Adepts, what have you.
Yeah. Well,
so he's going to be prepared.
What's nice is like Blink, well, an option is the rarer of the two. And you see its Resonating Glaives, you see its charge. It doesn't matter which of the two distinguishably it is. Banelings are an appropriate response to both.
Yeah. Banelings sometimes look lackluster against split Adepts, whereas charge, obviously, it's like the whole point is that they're going to charge forward. But, you know, that's still, I'm sure, something that Leenock is not going to underprepare for after being all in last game. So he's got knowledge here about the third base being put down. As I said, those Lings are there. So yeah, he knows that it's not going to be like a ton of gateways, ton of all-in potential here, but it is still going to be the Adepts running across the map with Resonating Glaives. Now, the Oracle sees Banelings already making, so I'd be surprised if he really commits to this. There's going to be so many Lings, after all, supporting those Banelings. But he's still running forward with the Adepts. This backfires really badly if he actually commits to this.
Well, what I was going to say is if this is like the way Neeb does and he splits his Adepts, it might not be so terrible, but no, he gets caught on both sides. One of the Adepts doesn't even make it to the mineral lines. This one's cleaned up fairly quickly. It looks like maybe 8 or so drones might go down to this.
Yeah, still a surprising result, considering how well prepared Leenock was, like even overproduced Lings, I would say. But this is where a counter on the third base, that's where the problem is. You know, you commit those Adepts like that, they better buy a lot of time for another warp in, maybe even 2 warp ins, or you better hope that Photon Overcharge is enough, because that's a lot of Lings. And you can't bring the Banelings over because they take a while.
Well, Stasis Trap catches a couple, but hardly any if we look at it.
He's not going to commit to the... Okay, he's going to wait for more Banelings. I guess with the Banelings coming here, too, like, they will just immediately crash into that pylon, and maybe even the Adepts. trusT's still going to have problems dealing with this.
How many Adepts are there, though? It's only 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the ones he warped in. This one's talking the natural. I think he really should not have gone... Oh, God. Really should not have dedicated with the Adepts. He saw how many units were available, but looks like he's going to minimize the amount of damage done.
Okay. For a moment, that could have been much worse. It was still not great, but it could have been so much worse.
Yeah. You know, he still managed to save, I guess, the sentries. His immortal production is now coming along here. And the third base didn't die. 8 probes for 8 drones, 9 drones. It's like pretty evenly split. But that looked like it could snowball a little bit more. Leenock got the 60 drones, 4th base, macro hatchery. His upgrades started. Everything's going smoothly, actually, for both of them, really, because trusT also has charge and +1 on the way.
Well, the whole position was nice, but not gonna be nice enough. Force Field's living waste and distracted on these Lings. These guys almost get to slip by. The Immortal comes to that wall and holds up, though. I mean, Leenock is doing a great job of continuing to be annoying. My fear, though, is that he's putting too much dedication to this. Because while he's going to be on almost 80 drones and 4 bases to the other side of the map, he is on a distinctive lack of army supply. Hydra's now starting to come out, but I don't know, man. I'm like really worried that he's just going to be underfunded, I guess, when it comes to his army.
Shouldn't be a problem unless trusT is already moving out, which he's not. So that's a big map to get through, and that is even a little bit of creeps for to get through too. The Lings are constantly rechecking this as well in case he does miss them moving across the north, perhaps, or Xel'Naga is not taken. And as such, he has plenty of time, not just to build Hydras, but also to, you know, build Banelings when he sees there's an attack on the way. And this is more so coming down to who has the better army and army control, trusT or Leenock. And waiting for trusT to get that kind of more perfect army, Archons and Storm included.
This will be cute. He's so close to +2 weapons, I don't know if he'll time it out or not. If he does, it's 1 hit per kill, otherwise it's 2 hits per kill. But still, with the probes so stacked up and the mineral patch is starting to disappear at this point, these banelings should get some pretty good connects no matter what. Especially because the Phoenix is busy chasing off a decoy overlord he had sent in, which was very much on purpose and not an accident. Super cool moves out of Leenock as he comes to the main. trusT, is he paying attention? Okay, thank God for that.
Yep. And it's not really timed out that well with +2, so it looks like it's gonna get a couple probes. But more of a distraction. Look over here while Leenock does attack to the 4th base.
26 banelings on the way.
Yeah. I mean, that's really making this look like more of a commitment to an attack, like an army fight. Because otherwise, I think he could have gotten maybe the cancel on the 4th base with just Lings and Hydras.
Man, trusT is on the ball with pulling his workers, but too much attention spent to that. This is such a surprise move. Yeah,
there you go. He just didn't see the army. The revelation thing came down once it was already on this side of the map, so. Oh boy, I knew there was a trap somewhere. This is not an army with Storm, yet he kept his High Templars as High Templars.
Oh, you know what? Through all the distraction of the pulling and the harass and Lings constantly getting in and out of this 3rd, I think he just forgot his Storm timing. That only just started. That's a huge blunder.
I agree. I think that he was going to start it as he warped those in, but that was as the Baneling attack started too. So it's like a good 30 seconds plus delayed. It looks like he's going to hold on long enough for this not to be an issue for surviving.
Maybe.
And I'm not sure he was able to really save that 4th base anyway, regardless if he had Storm or not.
Leenock's getting ready to bust through the natural while this goes on. Like, this attack to the north is almost like a big fake. It wants the army to stay here. It wants the army to be focused on it. And even if those storms are done, those Templar will be wickedly out of position for the natural base.
Oh, man. There's not even a wall here.
Yeah, he busts through, but, like, not necessary.
Yeah. There are not that many pylons either. A lot of gateways are going to go down. Be depowered, and this is another just distraction for the top side. trusT about to lose his 3rd base. Probably a lot of...
Storms are now done. He can maybe save his ass here with some storms. He's not paying attention, though. A little bit late.
Okay, well, with the more of an Archon, the Hydras will be able to come in here and kill these units. A couple of Zealots warped in might be able to do quite a bit of damage, and the army coming back from the natural ends up cleaning the Hydras.
I'm actually really impressed that trusT holds on to this, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's always so dangerous to leave your High Templars basically alone. I mean, they didn't have a lot of support there, but if you can use them, if they do get the storms down, they really do help against Ling Hydra.
While there were some pretty good hits, for how big of an army that was, there definitely wasn't enough economic damage. There wasn't enough lasting damage to the higher tech units. Like, ultimately, Leenock's attack, like, it didn't fail outright, but man, that didn't hit nearly as hard as I thought it would. And my concern is, like, you know, he's got money to spare. Income graph, all Leenock, all red, all the time. Takes a 5th base while this goes on. At some point, though, he's gonna hit that stage of the game where he won't have money to throw away. He won't have bodies to throw at his opponent. And he has to have got enough damage done before that point, otherwise he's gonna feel the hurt later rather than sooner.
He probably has 1 or 2 more attacks before that point happens. I mean, the pacing of the game still favors Leenock, I think, who is still pressuring pretty hard and is gone his way to a Hive and Greater Spire. Because trusT, you know, he's prepared for this. He's got to start getting a fleet beacon. He's making a mothership. Can't really afford to get to Tempest production. So if Leenock can just get a couple of Brood Lords, trusT would be in a lot of trouble. Just not having a 4th base, trusT is already in trouble for replacing this army.
Yeah. I mean, the army supply 90 to 120. This is a doable fight for trusT, but yeah, it's not about what's happening here and right now. It's about what's on deck. And that Hive tech, I didn't even realize got snuck out. It's going to be great. A lot of Zerg players can get stuck on this layer all in sort of mentality. But, you know, Leenock's like spreading his Banelings in. He's trying to catch these Templar, hit some of the pylons. Gonna come in for the backside maybe, or go to the natural? I think a pincer move would be sweet. Well, he's giving away all the Banelings before the Zealots are ready to go. This might be a mistake out of Leenock.
Well, he's about to get all the Immortals, so it might still be worth it. He even gets all the High Templar. He just needs some reinforcement for the Hydras, but unfortunately his Lings are going up against a meat grinder here. I'm wondering why he's committing to this. They could really help out protecting these Hydras over here.
Right, I thought there was like a pincer attack that was scheduled, not this sort of weird donate all the Lings to 3 Zealots. This was so bad out of Leenock. But Just is still gonna Okay, so Leenock, to be clear, Leenock won that game, but I don't think he did that very well. Not to take it away from him, but that was, oh, that got messy.
I think it might have been one of those situations where, like, you're just overpowering them. You know they don't have a 4th base, so you don't really care how the engagements go down, as long as they go down okay at all.
Alright, well, we've got what should be Neeb and Lucira waiting us, hopefully. Although it says they're in game, I'm not sure if that's just lobby or what.
Oh, okay.
We'll find out in a moment, either way. Quick commercial break. We'll see you guys here in a moment while we figure out what's going on with this next game.